Hi, everyone. It's Sunday night. It's time for Region Weather Live, and it's meteorologist Matt Wintz. Good to be with you guys this evening. Hope you had a nice weekend. We had the rain that we needed across Northwest Indiana this weekend. That low now long gone. Had a couple straggler showers today. Other than that, not a bad day. And we don't have a bad week shaping up. There is a chance for some storms later on this week as a cold front approaches from the north. We'll talk about the timing of that. We're also going to go a little bit more long term and towards what the end of August looks like now that a lot of families are back in that back to school routine. It's kind of customary to check the weather before you head out the door in the morning. So we've got you covered this week. Also have a pretty cool announcement that I want to share with you guys, all in this Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live. And hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday night. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Mary. Hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Mark is live from Lakefront Fest in Hobart. Hope you're having fun there, Mark. Not bad weather tonight. Hi, Gregory. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday night. I hope you guys are doing well. I know, summer winding down. We're getting back into that routine. Those of you that have kids, those that don't, you're probably seeing the traffic changes as people go back to school and families get back in that routine again. I know we're in the middle of that. We're going to be getting into that this week. So there you go. Hi, Deb, Gail. Good evening to you. Rich, thanks for joining us from Rensselaer. I appreciate that. JB, hi. Good to hear from you. Carl from Hebron. Thank you for joining us, Carl. And no problem, Dave. Thanks for joining us here tonight. As always, want to thank our sponsors first and foremost. They are so supportive. They keep this free. There are times, trust me, when I'm in the middle of something, which is what we're doing right now. We're getting ready to move, so there's a lot to do with the house, right? And there's times when I'm like, man, I don't have time for that. And then I think of the sponsors and how they support the show, and then I think of how much I enjoy telling you and interacting with you guys about what the weather is going to do for the next week. So I'll tell you what, I really thank the sponsors for a lot of that. They've been so supportive of the show, and that would be Tiger Plumbing and Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Both of them staples across Northwest Indiana. If you don't know Grieger's over in Valparaiso, they are a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership. They've a family-owned business. They've been just fantastic to many of you who've said, I've dealt with them in the past. I have a Jeep through them, whatever it happens to be. If you don't know them, go get to know them. They make car buying fun over at Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And then Tiger Plumbing are our favorite plumbers in all the regions. So many of you have written in. I'm just blown away by how many of you have used them. They appreciate that. They let me know every time you leave a review or say, you heard about them through Region Weather. So I appreciate that. TigerPlumbing.net. They don't charge trip fees. With high gas prices still, I think that's an amazing thing. And they do great work as well. Again, tigerplumbing.net for that. Okay, we'll save the announcement for the end. Not going to keep you in suspense. I never, ever want to waste your time on this show. There's not a lot to talk about weather-wise this week. A couple key things that I want to hit on, and then we'll say our announcement. We'll get you on your way tonight, okay? Sound good, everybody? So here we go. Let's get into the big picture pattern first. Here's what we've got going on. I want to go more global, because now is the time of year that we start to keep our eye on the tropics, okay? Peak hurricane season is typically around September, anywhere from September 10th to September 14th. So we're almost there. So typically this time of year, we see multiple storms, multiple tropical storms and hurricanes out in the Atlantic or in the Gulf of Mexico. And you haven't heard anything yet this tropical season, right? The couple storms that we've had have just been little piddly ones that, to be honest with you, I didn't think should even have a name to them. But there's that. But what we're dealing with right now is the beginning of what looks to be a little bit more active of a tropical end of the month and beginning of September, but rightfully so. There was a system that went into Mexico over the weekend. We're watching this little cluster off towards the Yucatan of Mexico. You look out here in the Atlantic where my mouse cursor is, there's not much going on. Typically, there's lots of activity there. They've had a lot of sinking air. They've had some wind shear tearing systems apart. But if you look way over here towards the coast of Africa, that's about a week and a half away from anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico. But we're starting to see some activity flare up there. Again, rightfully so. It's that time of year. And I would imagine some of that develops into either tropical depression, tropical storm. Why do we care here in Northwest Indiana? Well, these storms oftentimes come inland to the U.S., and they can bring some really good rain even to us here in the region. So tropical season, although we're not on a coast, I get it. I know we're far from a coast outside of Lake Michigan. It's still something we need to pay attention to. So kind of want to bring you up to speed on that. It's been a very quiet season so far, but things I would imagine are going to start to ramp up in terms of some of the modeling showing it. And, it's just that time of year. Climatologically, we favor tropical storms and hurricanes this time of year. Water is really warm. The other thing going on in the U.S., here's that low pressure that pulled out over the weekend, that slow moving low pressure. That is now long gone. Look at where we fall on the weather map. It's just perfect across the northern plains. We're settling into some really nice weather this week outside of this cold front way off towards the north. The other big story nationally is going to be this activity down in Texas in the deep south. There's a frontal boundary that's stalled out, and they're going to get all sorts of rain in Texas. And these are areas that desperately need it. They had those fires in Dallas a couple weeks ago. They're going to get heavy rain from this. Much of Texas is going to get a drought-busting week in terms of rainfall. So you'll probably hear a lot about that. All right, what about us locally? So these are the big picture maps. If you're not familiar with this is one of the websites I use. It's called WeatherBell. You do have to pay for it. A lot of meteorologists pay for it, or if you're a science junkie, that's a good thing to do. But what you're looking at here is basically rainfall chances, where rainfall is the heaviest. You notice it is out towards the east today. We did have those scattered showers out towards Chicago, the western half of our area today. Those are now long gone. So what I want to look at is where do we go from here? So I'm going to put this into motion. This is tomorrow. You notice how we're settling into nice weather. So we'll have nice sunshine over the next couple of days. This low pressure pulls off towards the east. Our next thing to keep an eye on is the frontal boundary out towards the north. And that doesn't arrive till Thursday at this point. So we are now into Tuesday. We're high and dry. That system's still out towards the east. They're getting soaked down south. So if any of you have business travel or whatever it happens to be, and maybe taking you somewhere else in the country, this gives you a good look at it. Wednesday, we're still dry. Here comes our front to the north with some showers and storms on Wednesday in the Dakotas and areas of Minnesota. The south is still getting soaked, but we're fine. So we're fine through Wednesday. Thursday is when this front approaches, and this is the Euro model. You notice how it brings some kind of shower and thunderstorm activity in from the northwest on Thursday. So south is still getting soaked. That's a common theme. But that activity on Thursday into early Friday, it doesn't look moisture starved, but there's not a lot with it. It's not a really well organized system. The system that we had moved through over the weekend was pretty organized. That had a lot of moisture with it as that low moved through. But we're just expecting scattered thunderstorms. This would be probably later in the day, Thursday, depending on what the speed looks like right now. Maybe some lingering rain into early Friday. And then it's out of here. We've got another nice air mass that sets up next weekend. A lot of you already planning ahead to next weekend, perhaps. Whatever you have going on, it looks pretty good. We've got a nice high pressure that'll set up Saturday. You notice the modeling kicking off just a couple showers in the vicinity. I would discount that at this point. It looks like everything's going to stay down to our south. And then we'll have to keep an eye on Sunday. There's a ridge that's going to start to work in here from the west, and that's going to have some thunderstorms on the leading edge of it. So, if I had to paint next weekend as one day that we have to watch, it would be Sunday for maybe some of those storms to creep in here. Otherwise, the models show that it's dry right now. And then next week, we bring back a more unsettled forecast, unfortunately. This is not Labor Day weekend. This is looking forward to that. This would be Monday, Tuesday, a week before Labor Day. It looks like we get pretty active in terms of shower and thunderstorm activity across the entire eastern U.S., kind of like what we just dealt with, okay? So that's what we're looking at precip-wise. In terms of temps, I'll just show you the flat-out model numbers. A lot of your phone apps actually link onto these numbers, and they just put them in the app. There's no human input. But I'll give you a little human input on this. This is the Euro, and all indication is that we're going to start to warm up. It looks like the ridge out towards the west, there's no serious heat in the country right now, but the ridge out towards the west is gradually going to shift east, not this weekend, but into next week as it looks right now. So maybe at the tail end of the weekend as that ridge pushes in, and then next week. So the Euro is latching onto that, and this is the Euro. And look at temperatures this week. This is basically what the Euro model is saying for temperatures. And I picked the center point here in the region, Porter County Airport. 70s next couple days, near 80 on Tuesday. And then look, we go up to low 80s, but that's not too bad, right? Wednesday, Thursday, a little dip on Friday, perhaps. And then the weekend, we get into fantasy land, right? Models don't always have a fantastic idea what's going to happen. But notice temperatures on the Euro, we're back up into the mid and upper 80s next weekend into the early next week before some kind of frontal boundary goes by. But I'll show you what's not agreeing with that, which is the GFS. This is fun. The GFS, I usually make fun of it. It's not the worst model, and sometimes it gets things right. But here's what it's saying for temps. It's much different than the Euro. In terms of high temps over the next 10 days, or actually more than 10 days, it's got the 70s. It's got a little downfall on Thursday with that front. The Euro or the GFS is saying we'll have more rain around. So that's why you have the 73 versus the 80s and or the 79 or whatever it was Euro. But notice it has the heat next weekend. So it brings us up into the 90s Sunday and Monday. It cools us down. And then it has a real big heat wave for Labor Day, right? This is Labor Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You see the dates here at the bottom. The GFS, the American model, has us in the mid and upper 90s. I can't rule that out because we just don't know yet, right? But I will tell you the GFS tends to kind of overdo things in the long term, and it kind of looks like it may be overdoing that. Have we ever had a 98-degree Labor Day? I believe that would be record-setting. However, we could get some heat around here. Euro isn't picking up on that yet. The GFS is. If we look at the national blend of models, this kind of blends all the major models together. It doesn't quite go out that far, but you notice it's a lot more tame in terms of that heat wave. It brings some warmth in here later this week, which we are expecting. Next weekend, it looks like Sunday's the warm day out of the two, and then it kind of trails us off. So we'll see what happens after that, but I always like to give you everything I'm looking at as well, and the GFS is one of those things that I look at, and it certainly is packing some heat for Labor Day weekend. I know that's a little ways away. Okay, last thing I want to show you, and we'll answer your questions, and I'll give my little announcement to you. Dew points, right? This measures how muggy it feels. Are we going to have any more stickiness? I mean, it's been kind of humid over the last couple of days, not too bad. I'm going to show you the big picture view because I want to also show you what's going on in Canada. So I'll take you through the week. When you have the darker orange colors, that's that true tropical air. The lighter oranges and yellows, which we have now, that's the air we've been with. It's been humid, but not too bad. And then the blues, that's some really dry, like fall-like air where it's super comfortable outside. So I'm going to take you through the week. Monday, tomorrow, we're dealing with just a moderate brand of humidity. The humidity should start to slide a little bit tomorrow as that north wind continues to take hold. Keep in mind, it's not really a good time for beach going tomorrow. The water, we're likely going to have still some rip current risk around. So we've talked about that last couple of weeks. Anytime there's a strong north wind, northwest wind, northeast wind, we tend to get rip currents along the Lake Michigan shore. So it's not good swimming weather if that wind's out of the north. Just keep that in mind. Drier air filters in here tomorrow later in the day. It'll feel more comfortable later in the day tomorrow than the beginning. We kind of stay with that air mass on Tuesday, so a pretty comfortable day. You notice some of the blues getting in here. Humidity really shoved down towards the Gulf Coast where that frontal boundary is, where all the rain is. And then the humidity starts to build back. So here's Wednesday, still not bad, but a little bit more humid. Thursday, I would expect more humidity because that front's coming in. And there it is. You can see how we'll turn a little bit more humid on Thursday. Look in Canada, look at this fresh air mass. If you go up to northern Canada, they're getting snow right now, and they've got a lot of snow falling in spots, which is fairly typical for this time of year. That kind of lays down the cold and allows it to get further south. But they've had some pretty chilly air masses, even in southern Canada recently. So it's there, and it's coming. You know, it's getting closer, but I know a lot of us are like, okay, let's keep it off for now because we know what we deal with the rest of the year. But in terms of humidity, anyway, Thursday, we have that front go by. So Friday, we bring in a little bit more refreshing air mass. And then look at this big change. This is that heat that's scheduled for Sunday and Monday coming up next weekend. It comes with humidity, and some of that humidity looks to be pretty tropical. So we're not done with the heat yet. And we're certainly does look pretty hot and humid around here all the way through. Really, this is taking us through Tuesday, Wednesday at this point. But off towards the north, there's some really refreshing air. This is where that battle of air masses takes place, where you get that big change between humidity and not. And then out west, it's always bone dry. You can see the dew points are really, really low. If any of you have flown to Vegas, or anywhere in the desert, it's really dry. You zap yourself everywhere. There's no moisture in the atmosphere. So that's that dry air. That's why you see that out there. Okay, so that's what we've got. So let's get your questions answered. Anything you need to know about the week ahead, you've got a meteorologist at your disposal for what that's worth. So be happy to answer those for you. And then I just got a little announcement to make. I'm pretty excited about this one. It's been a long time in the making here. So let's see what we've got here. Vicky Lee says, beautiful night here in Hobart. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Certainly did, Vicky. It was great. Again, we've been really, really busy. We are buying a new house, but we also have to sell our house. So you know how that goes. Those of you who have moved. there's a lot going on. We were doing photo shoots today, and it's amazing with 3 kids how just how you can't keep things clean. So it's been a challenge for sure. So we've been doing that for a long time. Mike, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Kimberly, you too. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. I appreciate you. We've got some more warmth coming, so that should be great. Portage Streets and Sanitation. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Absolutely. I'll always bring you the weather that you need to know, and we'll keep out the stuff that you don't need to know, all the garbage stuff. Hi, Tina. Thanks for joining us. If no one has any questions, we'll get you on your way. I told you I don't like to waste your time, and we're not going to tonight. So last thing I want to tell you guys, this is super cool. This is going to start not tomorrow, Monday, but the following Monday. We are going to be on some local radio stations. You're going to be able to catch Region Weather's forecast on stations all day long, and it's Indiana 105.5, it's X-Rock 103.9, and Z107.1. How exciting is that? We're also going to join and help out. I'm going to help out the region news team. They have a news team at the Adams Radio Group, and they do a great job doing news. Right, reminds me a lot of Lakeshore Public Television when I worked there. Small operation, but really hard workers. And I'm going to help them out from the meteorology side. So you'll be able to hear our forecast not just on there, but we're going to do a live interview in the mornings at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to have to get up early, but we'll certainly be doing that. And that's going to be Monday through Friday on that network of stations. And also during severe weather, we're going to do some call-ins and talking and kind of getting Northwest Indiana through any severe weather events as well. That's the plan. So it's been, I've always wanted to do baby steps in terms of Region Weather's growth, because obviously I have a full-time job as a meteorologist here. That's my first and foremost thing, right? And that's my passion here. But any way I can help out, additionally with Northwest Indiana weather, I've always been game for that. So I'm really excited about that. So that doesn't start tomorrow; it'll start next Monday. But a lot of different folks there with the country music, the rock music, and the everything music. So I hope we covered them all. But really happy for that. So I appreciate for their support too. Okay, yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate that. Dave says he listens to 2 of those stations. That's awesome. Yeah, Kimberly, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much. So you guys, and Kylo, thank you for supporting WLPR. I appreciate that. So we'll give you another reminder next week, but it'll be kind of cool. So you'll hear this voice. You're probably not going to see me because it's radio, right? But maybe you'll have a mental image. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's going to be super cool. So super proud of that. That's been, almost a year in the works now, where I've been kind of crafting what I could contribute, what I would want to do time-wise. And we partnered up with them, and they're just a fantastic group of hard workers, like I said. So we'll fit right in with them. Okay. All right, that's it. You guys enjoy your Sunday night. As always, love you guys, family. I love you guys. Seriously, Northwest Indiana is just so good to us here at Region Weather, and I really appreciate you for all of your support as well. I hope you got something out of this weather-wise for the week ahead, and we'll join you again next Sunday, and then I've got some more plans once that radio starts. We're going to start doing some morning content here on Region Weather since I'll be up, okay? So you have some stuff as you're heading out the door in the morning. It should be pretty cool. Okay? Enjoy your Sunday night. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday evening edition of Region Weather Live.